Hi guys, it's me, just Machine again, and I have a new idea for this video. This video will be the beginning of a new series of videos in which I will discuss what I will call Handicapped Etiquette. And basically what that means is how regular people should treat people with disabilities, whether they be invisible or visible disabilities, because apparently we as a society need this. And I speak from personal experience with it because isn't it kind of obvious at this point that I have a very visible disability, and people tend to treat me disrespectfully, and sometimes they don't know how to act toward people with disabilities. But whether that's on purpose or not, that's up to me or anyone else to decide with disabilities. But yeah, so here we go with the first entry in this new series that I'm going to be having. So I was at the gym recently. Fancy that. I went to the Planet Fitness in Middletown, New York. Well, one of them anyway. The bigger and the more popular one, I guess, of the two. I haven't seen the second one yet, so I can't say that for sure. But on the app, it said that it was like 3 bars worth of people. Anyway, that doesn't matter. So I'm going around looking for people to talk to, new faces and stuff. And then I just happened to see this girl that's in a pre-workout uniform. She got off work and stuff like that. So I assumed that she was a nurse based on what she was wearing. So I figured to talk to her when she gets ready into the workout. So the time comes to talk to her, and then she said to me, oh, I got a boyfriend. I said, I'm not looking for that. I'm just here to promote myself, my YouTube channel and whatnot, and stuff, and that kind of thing. So we got in talking about stuff, and she says, now how old are you? I said, I'm 41 years old. She said, damn, you look good for your age. So I said, I felt like I will ask her because she asked me so nicely how old I was. So I figured I will ask her how old she was. She said, 26 years old. I said, no way. You're a little teenage. Like you're a teenager. I guess it must be genetics. So she said, yeah, Asians don't crack until we're 50 years old, then it's a blue right down the drain. Then it comes on a little fast. I said, okay. So then she says, what condition do you have? I said, yeah, so we're gonna go there, aren't we? Miss, I already have a boyfriend, and that's a very personal question for someone to ask bluntly like that, just to blurt it out like that, Normally, whenever I get that question, people always ask me, like, can I ask you something personal, or can I ask you, something that might offend you, or something or other. Just go out and say, what condition do you have? That's like furthermore into the conversation or something, if at all. And whenever I ask somebody about the disability or whatever, I always say may I ask you what happened? You know, what will put you in the circumstances that you're in now? Whether they be in a wheelchair, or whether they be on crutches, whether they be on, whether they have a limb amputated or something rather like that, you know. I do it politely. I don't go right out. I don't go right out and say, you know, what condition do you have? So I was talking to my father about it. I was saying that, you know, the only reason why she probably felt brave enough to ask me that question was probably because of her medical training as a nurse. So that's the only reason why she probably would say that like that. I mean, hell, my friend Sakura that goes to the gym in Kingston, even she's a nurse and she known me for years, but she never asked me that question without her boyfriend being present. So like, damn, you're open. You're very curious about it. So I give it the same answer I give everyone. That I'm unknown. I almost felt like saying to her that that I have something very similar to palsy, you know, cerebral palsy. But then again, I didn't want to get too complicated with it. I don't know if it's me anyway. So anyway, I've had it where people have been into like medical training and they were doctors, like first year doctors or so, and then they talk about it for disability, and then when they say, you know, what condition or what happened to you, then the person just outright doesn't talk to me anymore. Like I'm a pariah or something. Or like I'm so far gone that I'm not even worth talking to anymore. So yeah, that would be interesting for her. Anyway, what did this person do wrong? Well, you don't go outright and ask the person what condition you have. It sounds so rude and so almost condescending, and it's very personal. It's a very personal question, and it's very you know, because I'm very open about it. I'm very open that I'm unknown and blah 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 and all this stuff, and I'm very open about my capabilities and such. But there might be someone that's like, none of your business, or I don't want to talk about it to anyone, or I'm secretive about it for whatever reason. So there's that, and then there's always the person aspect of it. Like, you know, it'd be like me seeing the girl or a perfect stranger. Are you able to have children? You know, it's highly personal. It's highly medical. You know, you shouldn't just outright ask the person that question. You know, maybe if you know each other for at least a month or so as friends, you might say something like that. But it was like a very blunt and very interesting way to put it. And it was very weird, especially being that she went out of her way to say that I have a boyfriend, whatever. So anyway, what should she have done? Well, she chooses like, can I ask you a personal question? Are you comfortable with talking about your disability? Are you okay with talking to a stranger about it? You know, I am a nurse and that kind of thing, or I am a doctor, or I am a therapist, or whatever the case is. I've had people who I know from the gym that actually are therapists and doctors and nurses and stuff, and they say, you know, congratulate me on how I'm doing and all this stuff and how good of a job I'm doing with the workouts and everything. But they never actually ask me, what do you have? What can I do for you? Is there any type of medical help that you need? Or if you ever need any help, just let me know. I gotten that last one before too. Be a nice person, but never something so rude and so blunt as what condition do you have? That's very interesting. Even people who want to become my friend never actually said that to me. Although I think that it could be worse than that, but still it was pretty like a slap in the face type of thing. Like you don't really expect like a big wet balloon full of cold water. You don't really expect it. But yeah. Let me know what you guys would like me to cover next in this topic of handicapped etiquette. Right. Because I have a few of them in my mind as well what I'll do for it. So yeah, my socials will be in the in the description below. Let me know if you want me to cover anything in particular in the comments below on it. Yeah, that's it. I salute all you guys out there, like my stuff and everything else. Be kind of one another. I'll see you in the next video. All you girls and guys in Internet Land. Peace out, my brothers and sisters. Sayonara, Venus, and Arrivederci.